Hello, everybody. This is Lilith, also known as Steve. Welcome to the Impractical Podcast. I got my four friends again here, and we got a special guest, Charlax,
Hello.
Brian,
Yo.
and Jeremy.
What's good, bro?
And our guest for today is Molotov Cocktails.
Hi guys, my name is Jose, and I'm known on Instagram as Full Evan Genesis and Molotov Cocktail on any gaming platform.
Great,
Nice to be here.
great.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, shall we begin the first topic?
Yeah, our first topic is free to play games.
And how they're taking over
yeah.
the gaming
So-
community.
Free to play games. They're just basically regular games that you can find sometimes on Epic Games or regular web browser
free
games.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how they've been taking a huge share of the gaming market. For example, I got a few articles here. For example, in 2018, they made $88 billion in revenue. That's amounting,
Oh, wow.
for the total of the gaming industry, it amounts to 110. So we're talking about more than probably like 80 something percent of the whole amount of the gaming market was amounted to free to play games. And about from those 110 billion, about 61 billion came from mobile games, which is the natural home of the free to play platform. And they make so much money, in ads revenue. They make a lot of money also in microtransactions. For example, look at Fortnite. You got a lot of people, a gazillion people playing that game. And they imagine if everybody bought a skin, right? And
Yeah.
I don't play Fortnite, not really, like almost any time. But I'd imagine that skin packs are between the 99 cents of a dollar and up to
$50, let's say that.
yeah, something like
Yeah.
that, because packs vary and things like that. But it's very interesting because you see the majority of those billions are being made in Asia, and then North America, and then Europe. But most of the revenue from the gaming industry comes from mobile games. That's something that I didn't imagine.
I've
Yeah,
seen
wow,
I've
that's insane.
I've seen like a lot of that Free Fire Battlegrounds game from the App Store. It's like a clone of PUBG. Like there's so many of those clones, and they all
Oh,
have
yeah.
they all have their skin packs and stuff like that.
Ever since Fortnite, everybody's
Yeah.
been making battle royales.
Yeah, even Call of
Yeah, it
Duty,
was
like a really
Embarrassing.
widely known game.
Even Roblox has it.
Oh, no shit.
Battle Royale.
Yeah. Speaking of Roblox, though, regardless of Roblox being a free-to-play game, it now has a net worth of over $2.5 billion.
That is wild.
Yeah,
crazy.
and what's most interesting to me, it's for example how PUBG, you guys know, player unknown battlegrounds.
Yeah.
That was basically the first battle royale game, because it came out. Well, I don't know.
Right?
The beta was came out in 2015, but the official launch was in 2016. But it's a paid game. You have to pay for it, and play pay to play. It's not a free to play like Fortnite, which came out in 2017. But for me, it's interesting because PUBG has been really successful, but at the same time, it's been lacking a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, this last few years.
that's a
But
good
for
point.
example, yeah, for example, in 2018, PUBG took $1 billion of its own, I think. But according to this article, how much of that billion it took in microtransactions isn't actually clear. But it's pretty interesting to see. And for example, Grand Theft Auto 5 on 2018 it generated some $628 million,
Oh, wow.
but that mostly came from its online counterpart, right? GTA Online. But that's kind of amazing because Grand Theft Auto 5, first came out in 2013. So it's now a pretty old game
Yeah.
by today's standards. And people still play it. People still pay for it.
Yeah, it's one of the most top playing games right now. Still, for like
Mhm.
about 7 years.
Yeah, it's up there with Minecraft, really.
Yeah.
I mean, not all free games are successful within their business, but I mean, still paid games are still pretty good too, like Minecraft and GTA, like you guys said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Still good.
but the thing about I don't like about free to play games is that most people are gonna play those and not play like the ones that are already paid. Like for example, back before when without when Fortnite wasn't around, I was playing Battlefront, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were used to be more people on
Yeah.
Battlefront. And then once Fortnite like came around and stuff, most of the times the servers were empty and stuff, and I was like really bored, disappointed.
You're referring to Star Wars Battlefront, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed, but right now Battlefront 2 is free on PS4, so they're getting into that free action stuff. So yeah.
Both of the new Battlefront games have been on like a steady decline ever since they came out, really.
Yeah. EA just announced that they're gonna decline the Battlefront 2 production. They're gonna stop like making Battlefront 3. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna stop making those.
EA is
Well,
just not the best at making
God.
Star Wars games, unfortunately.
But now
Yeah.
Battlefront 2 is actually getting more popular now. Ever since they started announcing that they're gonna stop updating Battlefront 2, making new things, new cosmetics. It's just over.
Yeah.
I'm actually thankful for that because I had really high hopes for the first Battlefront, and it let me down immensely. And then the second one let me down, I think, even more because at least I knew that the first one was going to be like multiplayer only, but the second one they announced that it was going to have like certain single player what can I say, like single player features,
Like a
but it
campaign.
still wasn't. Nah, because they clearly said that they weren't going to include a campaign, but they said that they were going to. There are certain single player modes for Battlefront 2, like I don't know if it's called like missions or scenarios or something like that. Yeah, but then the second one, it does have a campaign. Oh yeah, I remember now, Inferno Squadron. But then they just kind of left it out with an open-ended ending, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna wait until after the movie," but then they didn't update it, and then they just kept focusing on multiplayer. So it was kind of like I miss instant action from the old Battlefront 2. I miss the old campaign. The old Battlefront 2 was such a great game. So, but in comparison, I just feel like these two Battlefronts, don't even scratch the surface of the potential they could have. And I think it's because, EA's direction hasn't been the most optimal one for it.
EA has had like that one reputation of the game industries that use overpriced their games, and is you gotta pay for most of the stuff inside the games features for mobile. Like for example, you look the mobile games, you gotta pay for so much stuff. It's annoying.
Yeah, I can agree with you, but
Have,
Well, free games with free cosmetics usually spam ads in their games, so that's how they get revenue as well.
have you guys seen the new Star Wars game that EA is making, Squadrons?
Oh, the Squadrons.
Squadron.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
pre-ordered that.
yeah. Oh, you did.
Um,
I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it, but if it's gonna be just as bad as the previous two
I
Battlefront games have been,
I wouldn't, guys. I fell for both Battlefronts, and I don't think I'm falling ever again for a Star Wars EA game. I
But
actually didn't fall for Fallen Order, but then I played it last year. I think it was around October or November, and I think Jedi Fallen Order is like the only Star Wars game under the EA reign that's been able to, that I've been able to say, wow, it's a great game. I actually got all achievements for it. It got me very hooked. It's a great game. Actually, it has good story. It has good graphics. I don't know how it was at launch. I was told that it was a bit buggy, but when I played, it was perfectly fine. It's a great game in my opinion. But that's kind of the exception to the rule regarding EA.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean the rule is basically EA flaunting its games, and the exception was that small jewel that we got.
Isn't Fallen Order just a campaign? It's not online multiplayer.
yeah, campaign
Yeah,
only.
it's a single player only game.
So
But
maybe
it
maybe
has a
they should
great
stick to
story.
that. Maybe they should just stick
Ye-
to campaign games.
Yeah, like for example, EA games could have amazing potential with Star Wars because Star Wars is just such a big franchise. And for example, I think we should talk about the Old Republic.
yeah.
The MMO that's been around since I think 2011, and it's
Oh yeah.
recently just released on Steam. So maybe it'll get more of a wider fan base right now. And I've actually played it a bit. It's a good MMO, tab action MMO, but it's got so much potential. That's what I want to say. Like Star Wars is so big and it has such a big fan base that it could have amazing potential for games, but the devs simply don't know how to tap out that potential. How to tap into it, like that hidden power. They just haven't hit the right spot. I think Jedi Fallen Order did, but by following a game recipe that's no longer too common these days, because single player games are being kind of left behind, but are having a bit of a resurgence lately. For example, well, we've got Cyberpunk 2077 hopefully coming later this year or at the beginning of the next year. That looks like it's going to be a blockbuster game, and it's going to be, well, single player only. And CD Projekt Red has already made a huge, you know, fame with the Witcher series. So I think it's a good recipe, and I just think that developers haven't been able to really hit the sweet spot. Just take a look at the Battlefront games, things like that. For example, one of the reasons why Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the last one, had such a great success, I'm not going to say that it was mostly because of its single player campaign, because it's not. It's actually Warzone, free to play Warzone. But it's got a great campaign, actually. It's very, very meticulously crafted. I've actually seen a few videos of. There's this channel that's kind of famous in YouTube. I don't remember the channel name, but basically, special forces guys view the game, and then they're kind of like, gamer-esque guys. So they kind of analyze the game, and they say like, yeah, for example, we used to do this all the time during drills, or no, we would never do that on a live action, live fire exercise, something like that.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. So one of those guys is, I think he was a Marsok Raider, something like that. and the other guy was a Marine, one of the special forces the Marines have. So the two of them are like, for example, the mission in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, in which you go in as the SAS into a tourist house in the middle of London. I think it was London. Well, it was in England at least. And you just have to like, for example, check who you're firing. You don't know if you can fire on someone who hasn't got a gun yet, but they are a terrorist. And so, for example, they were analyzing stuff like that, and they said, yeah, they train us for this kind of stuff. If we see a person that doesn't have a weapon, is not an immediate threat, is saying that they're being held captive or something, you can just shoot them, like at the ending of that level. Where the civilian goes to grab the detonator, and so they shoot her, and they ask themselves, did we make the right call? And so the Marines were saying like yeah, this happens in real life. So it's very interesting because it gives you the message, the hint that the campaign was very well crafted, and that's something that appeals to a lot of gamers, especially those of us from the old Call of Duty era that, you know, we used to be
Black Ops.
like, for example, even further back, because I don't know, for me, single player games have always been quite a thing. But now that you mentioned Black Ops, that was a great game. You know, it had a good story, it had a good campaign, and it also had a great multiplayer. I played it a lot. So why did they have to go over and make something like Black Ops 4 if not for money? You know, they scrapped single player, they just put in zombies, multiplayer, and a battle royale mode, which nobody asked for, but a lot of people
It was just trendy.
got into it. Yeah, it was trendy. It was the one of their selling points, and well, I think it was kind of a test for Warzone, because Warzone actually I've seen a lot of gameplay on it, and I'm actually interested in Warzone. I'm not very interested in the battle royale formula. It's not my specific kind of game, but I play Warzone, and that, you know, says a lot.
Yeah. COD Mobile has been pretty popular recently as well, I've noticed. Specifically the Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, I remember like a lot of people playing that and like on the outsides of school and stuff. That was pretty. Everyone wanted to play that. I don't know why. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't play it. I don't play mobile games too that often. I don't really get into them too much. But I guess they're like they're pretty good in their ways. I guess probably because like they're free, you know, and people are gonna just get them used because it's free and you can play with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, out of 2018's $110 billion dollars in revenue from the whole gaming industry, 61 billion were made from mobile games. So that gives you a lot.
Wow.
It's almost 50. It's more than 50% actually of the whole industry being into mobile games, and it makes you wonder, like, wow, so many players are playing mobile games. I didn't know that. I think I thought that the PC and the console market would take you know, most of that, but it actually amounts to about 15 billion out of those 110. So the numbers are just staggering.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of consoles, have you guys seen the next generation consoles that are coming out this holiday season? Have any opinions on that?
Yeah. The Xbox design is just clean. PS5, I don't know what the heck that's.
I'm actually interested in the PS5. Like, it looks really good for what I've seen from trailers and stuff. I mean, I won't get it because I'm broke for that.
People were saying it looks like a Wi-Fi router.
It really does. It really
Yeah,
does.
I'm not feeling very confident about the PS5. You know, already on the specs, the Xbox One X has already proven to be more. That it's going to be more powerful, hardware wise.
I feel like the
And
Xbox is a more solid console.
yeah,
To be honest.
and
Yeah.
also they're keeping the old formula that you can have a digital library and a disc reader, because the PS5 has I
The
think
PS5 has that option as well.
yeah, but they're going to make two different consoles at two different prices, and one's going to be like disc only with no digital library, and the other one's going to be only digital library. So I think that's a pretty rare and
It's a bold
actually,
move.
yeah, it's a bold move, but I also think that it's
I like to
kind of
collect
stupid,
games in my
you know?
library, in like
Yeah.
my physical library and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that like to collect like physical copies of games, so that's kind of a huge move on their part.
Yeah, like mostly for the last, I don't know how long it's been since I last bought a physical game. But like for example, if I want to get a collector's edition of a game or something like that I'm really a fan of, like
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to play that, and I'm going to have to buy the digital, or I don't know if they're going to make like, oh, buy the collectors and it comes with a code or something. I think that would be kind of, well, forgive my language, but kind of shitty.
Yeah, no,
like
definitely.
it's I don't think it's the best market decision, and it's been a pretty controversial point from what I've seen, especially where I live. I have a lot of friends that still buy physical games, and so they told me, you know what, I'm actually considering switching over to Xbox if they do that, because for example, one of those friends doesn't play a lot of exclusives on the PlayStation, but and so he doesn't have that strong, the PS exclusives are what's keeping me in the PS family. But yeah, he told me, like, if they actually do that, I'm thinking about switching to Xbox because they have the same games that I play over here at PlayStation. And it'll be a shame because I've always been a PlayStation guy, but I really just don't like that option. Like,
Yeah,
not having the freedom to play a disc that I bought on my console is like I don't know how to say that, but it's a decision.
big deal for most people,
It's
really.
a big deal. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big deal for a lot of people.
However, I have heard that the PS5 is going to have better haptic feedback in their controllers, which is going to be kind of cool. That's something that they've got Xbox beat on for sure.
Oh yeah, on the controller they do. Unless they ship out, new controllers like the Elite, that have several buttons.
yeah.
You can configure. You can configure, the buttons to switch this, switch out. That would be awesome, but I don't know if they're gonna do that because I've seen the new controller and it's basically the old one with a few tweaks.
It's just got a new button, really. I mean,
It's got a
pretty
new
much
button.
the same thing.
Yeah, and the D-pad they also change it a bit, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So I don't know how they're gonna go with that.
Yeah, it seems like it's more of just like an upgrade to the Xbox One than it is a next gen, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Just kind of like a hardware update and making it look like a rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
I like how nobody talks about the Switch.
Yeah.
That's like so far behind.
Well, I mean, the Switch is a great console, but it's just lacking on a lot of the specs that other consoles have.
It's mainly graphics and like a lot of the Joy-Con failures and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the Switch, it's a very, niche thing, because not only because of the niche, but it's also it's kind of weird to say this because it's kind of a niche thing, people
Yeah.
that are like Nintendo exclusives and things like that, they're definitely gonna get a Switch.
Mhm.
I mean, being able, for example, I had a friend, one of my best friends, He used to work at Amazon, and and he used to be in the office. And well, he didn't have anything to do. He just pop out his Switch and start playing Super Smash Brothers in the freaking office. So that's pretty cool. And for fans of Nintendo, that's kind of a big deal. Being able to play anywhere, and that's why they've been focusing so much on the Switch Lite. They announced the new Switch. I think it's called XL. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the name, but they're going to be making it like without that option, without the mobile option, just for a big screen, for big gaming and stuff. But they're gonna cap it at 720p. So I don't think that's
not gonna
also
work out.
yeah, exactly. Like I've been wondering, wow. But the Switch, because of its mobile capabilities and the Switch Lite, I think they're meant for a niche audience, but at the same time, they're meant for a broader audience than, for example, traditional console players like Xbox and PS4 owners. I mean, it's cheaper. It's got more family-friendly games. It's got Nintendo games. You're able to play like in the comfort of your bed or in your living room or wherever you are, right? So it's kind of a weird
Playing
thing,
Smash Bros.
but yeah, it's yeah. So it's but it's not a very powerful console,
Not
and
at all.
that's one of the things that kept it behind. For example, I saw that a friend of mine recently got The Witcher 3 for the Switch, and I was like, man, you have, or at least you had an Xbox One. Why didn't you get it for Xbox?
Yeah,
you know,
seriously.
yeah,
That game has very good graphics, so you definitely want to play it on a good console.
yeah, or a good PC.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the Switch was made like more for people that were a fan of the DS, like people that like portable gaming consoles for sure.
Oh
Yeah, definitely.
Because
That's
Nintendo has
what I meant
always killed the portable gaming market. I would say they've always had that in the bag for sure.
yeah, and that's why the Switch has been such a hit, such a success. Like I told you, like it's meant for a niche audience, but at the same time, like for a broader Nintendo audience. So it's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, and they did very well with the Switch and the Switch Lite. So them going the opposite way right now, if they had made like a considerable upgrade to the specs of the hardware, that would be great. But I kind of feel like it's just like an attempt at money grab, you know, because it's going to be like a big Switch console. It's going to support, I think, more frames per second and things like that. But the resolution is still capped at 720p. So what's the difference between me having a normal Switch and the Switch XL that's going to come out? I mean, for sure, there are people that are going to buy it. Like, for example, those that are interested in the Switch but really don't care about the mobile part. But I think that market is considerably less sizable than the normal Switch market.
Yeah. The other thing with the 720p graphics is there's not very many games on the Switch that are like super high definition, besides like The Witcher. But most people really like to play it for like Super Smash Bros. And stuff like that, which they don't have like super realistic graphics, if you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably what they're aiming for, but that's really not going to work out if they're trying to get into the console industry.
Yeah, of course. But for example, the resolution, like, I mean, imagine having a 4K screen and playing on 720p. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Yeah,
the deeper things going into the pixels and the resolution and the scaling and things like that are going to be more of a pain in the ass than
Yeah, it's more like
than anything
biased
else.
opinion of how the graphics look and stuff. Because I played it,
Mhm.
I really don't really care for the graphics that much. I mean, I do, but it's not like nitpick thing. I mainly focus on gameplay for games. You see, like Nintendo has them really good games that have like a good story and stuff. You know, like Zelda, Mario, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly
Yeah.
why I got the Switch for, and mainly why I played on it. Just for the games that are just like really amazing stuff. I know that the PlayStation, and Xbox have really great games with graphics and stuff and gameplay, but I just mainly think that the Switch just makes some better overall better story games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
If you're a
that's fair.
Nintendo fan, then that's definitely fair.
Nintendo.
But yeah. So did we have any more topics that we wanted to bring up besides gaming?
Well, wait, how much long did we talk for it?
I'm not sure how long we've been going for.
Around 30-ish minutes.
I
Okay, yeah,
think we
still
had
got
a
another 15.
we had a good topic. It was what was the other topic?
Oh yeah, the actor who played Darth Maul.
Yeah, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Brian.
Brian, would you like to speak on that?
Oh yeah. So recently, and I think a couple of days ago, Ray Park, the actor of Darth Maul, was caught posting inappropriate things on his Instagram page. But that's a rumor; it's not 100% guaranteed. But I read some articles about it. It's strongly, most likely, going to be a
Oh
guarantee.
boy.
Why would?
But let's try not to spread the rumor too much. But that's kind of shocking for Darth Maul because he's supposed to be destroying the Jedi, not posting inappropriate photos on Instagram.
Yeah.
True.
Let's talk about Star Wars now that I got interested again. Anyone here like? Yeah.
Right now,
Anyone think about Episode
Uh,
9?
I mean,
So
It-
nine.
I still remember the moment when the guy stand up
Dang.
while they revealed Palpatine.
I used. Yeah, that I
Remember
don't.
that, Steve?
I didn't. I mean, I liked the movie. It was good and decent. I'm just not that. It's
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's at least
no,
it's better
episode
than
8 is better than
7,
episode 8.
for sure.
like by a long mile. No, I didn't like.
I like
I also
episode 8.
like episode 8. I think that all
Episode 7
three were
sucked.
decent, but definitely not even close to as good as any of the older ones.
The prequels.
Yeah.
What do you guys like the prequels or sequels better? Or
I like
maybe
the originals.
I like this
I like the
Prequels,
originals.
honestly.
Me,
It's a niche thing to
prequels,
say,
yeah,
but
for sure.
yeah. A lot of people hate the prequels.
Anybody
Because,
watch-
because of the sequels, right now, I really don't have any preference between the prequels and the original trilogy right now. You know, the prequels have given us a lot of mean material, and they're actually pretty good. You know, like pretty well made per se.
Yeah.
They have a lot of plot holes and things like that, but for example, they gave us the space for the Clone Wars, which is absolutely
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
That's
Show
really,
is
really
awesome.
good TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
love
so
that show.
I love that, but I absolutely hate the sequels. Like for example, the seven. The Force Awakens was a good movie. I liked it. You know, it's kind of a like let's make a New Hope, but with better graphics and stuff, basically.
Yeah.
But because the plot is almost the same, you know, but at the same time, so yeah, it's a good movie. But then Episode 8, man,
I'm-
just
Oh, you didn't like episode 8?
damn.
It's disappointing.
I-
Like, I mean, I know that a lot of people are gonna be like kind of against it, and some people like it and some people don't. I mainly focus on episode 8 was mainly for the story. I don't remember like what exactly was the story for it. I watched it and I was confused most of the times.
Yeah, you see, for any of the sequels, I wouldn't ever rank them higher than a C or a C plus.
I mean,
But I definitely don't hate them.
I was before the Force Awakens. I was thinking that episode 1 was really bad, like the worst episode. But then I saw that episode 8 was actually really bad for me, for my opinion.
Nah, man, yeah, The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever made. Well, I haven't watched Solo, but they
Oh,
told
yeah.
me that one was pretty flaunty as well.
I-
I haven't. That's the only Star Wars movie I haven't seen yet. But yeah, for me, that's definitely the worst. The Last Jedi, like so many plot things gone wrong, so many imaginings, so many concepts just plain wrong, just Rose and the cringy things, everything,
Oh
like
no! Oh no!
gosh,
Oh,
that was a
Lord.
painful movie to watch. That was an awful movie. I mean, I liked how they even wanted to make Leia, use the Force, and that's very comic accurate. In the comics, she does actually use the Force,
Mhm.
and the original plan actually, Yoda wanted to train Leia, not Luke, for example, and things like that. But just Leia just exploding into outer space, then somehow surviving, and then somehow with the Force pulling herself back to the ship.
Oh yeah,
That was just such a cringy scene that felt like okay, so how do we get a homage to somebody who just died, to Princess Leia? How do we give her a homage and make her use the Force in a really epic way? And it was like, make her die and not die at the same time. So I was like, oh my god, what the hell's wrong with Ryan Johnson? Like, that part of the movie was just, they killed off General Akbar like he was nothing as well.
That was sad.
Yeah, just the whole movie was sad, man. You know, uh, and I'm not talking in a good sad kind of way. Like just depressing, that movie.
oh, and that the
like
ending.
F that.
I don't know if you care. They
Ah, the
spoiled the
ending.
ending. I think. Well, it's an old movie now. I think. Well, actually, it's not old. It's only 1 year ago. But that ending.
Wait, which one? The newest
no,
one?
episode 8.
Or
Oh wait, that was
Episode-
2 years
okay,
ago.
okay.
2017. 2007. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was 17. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's safe to
Luke
spoil
Skywalker.
that one.
Luke Skywalker dies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but yeah, and the reason for him dying, like,
RIP.
that was so I don't know, just
He didn't
stupid,
have a
man.
good
lackluster is the correct word.
Lackluster, yeah, as lackluster.
I was
AF,
expecting
man.
Luke
Yeah, it was-
Skywalker to
Totally.
die like fighting, like going with his lightsaber and just swinging around, destroying all kinds of ships, using the Force, just crushing down stuff and stuff, having a cool action sequence or something.
And then dying. You didn't expect him to just kind of
Just fade out.
Or him,
no
or
reason.
him sacrificing himself or whatever. But like, oh, that took such a force. It drained my mana bar, so I'm
Like
gonna
Shaq
die
would be.
now. Like, I was like,
Yes.
dude, the force doesn't work that way.
That's not how it works.
And Mark Hamill hated that movie. He said in interviews, like before and after, like before the movie, he gave hints that he didn't like the movie, but he didn't outright say it. Like, he gave hints, like, yeah, like, for example, like, hey, is it going to be a good movie? And imagine just him replying like, yeah, like, you just know, like, so there were like a few hints like that, and after the movie he was just like, yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
in agreement with any of it. So it was just, Ryan Johnson just went crazy, and I don't know, man, that he Disneyfied a lot
Yeah.
of that movie. And just the Disney formula I don't think it works for Star Wars. Not in its
Not in the correct way.
in its
no,
biggest
not in the
part.
correct way.
Not in the correct way. Yeah, like certain aspects, it's okay. You can add a bit more humor. The prequels and even the originals had a bit of humor, stuff like that. But just when you outright make a Disney movie out of
Star Wars.
out of a Star Wars movie, just no.
Yeah.
And for example, the last one, I think it had great lore, but the story wasn't told.
The last
correct.
one was a joke, honestly, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I think that it was directed by J.J. Abrams, right?
Oh, really?
Really?
There's no way. There's no way.
He did.
Uh, let me look that up because I don't remember. I think it was I think and he
Oh
directed
yes,
the seventh one
he
as
did.
well.
He did.
Oh dang, that doesn't look good on his part.
I mean, but
Yeah, but for example, when you look at episode 9, yeah, it was directed by him. You know, episode 7 and 9 were directed by him. But when you look at that, you know, like episode 9 tried to salvage the whole of Star Wars after the big fail that episode 8 was. You know, like it did the best it could. Like it would have been a great movie if episode 8 didn't exist, so they wouldn't have all those plot holes that the episode 8 left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for example, if episode 8 didn't exist and they were just giving him, you know, like a script to J.J. Abrams, he would have made a
good episode.
a pretty good episode, yeah. You know, and there was another script that was scrapped. Did you guys saw that?
No.
Did you guys see that?
The other script? No. What are
Yeah, the other script was super interesting. It was way darker and things like that. I don't remember the whole of it, but it had you know, more battles, more things like that. It wasn't so centered on Rey, and it was more centered on what was his name? Oh, it was more centered on Kylo Ren and Rey and the dark side and things like that. And they didn't bring Palpatine back in that script, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like for example, aside from a few thingies that I think, you know, plot wise and how they did the storytelling in that episode, I think it was, you know, a good movie for the most part. But the bad parts and the legacy that episode 8 left was just too much to get over, you know.
Yeah.
And then that episode of episode 9 ending, it let like it leaves so much stuff that can be going on future episodes if they even do it again. They just left it empty, open.
How do you guys feel about the Mandalorian?
I haven't watched.
I haven't finished it. I watched like the first episode or the first 2. I don't remember.
Okay.
Because I was watching it on a pirate page. I wasn't watching it on Disney Plus.
I need to do that.
But then it got taken down.
Oh dang. Honestly, I would recommend checking it out if you get the chance. It's actually really good. Like it gives you hope for Disney, like what they're gonna do with Star Wars, because I hear that they're making like an Obi-Wan show, which I think could be pretty good because they're actually gonna bring back Owen McGregor as the
it's just that I feel like Disney tried to apply the Marvel formula to Star Wars and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
I think this is one of the scripts I found. I think that's one of the one that there was like an other script. Remember you said that? I was looking it up, and they showed me that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they even had a lot of concept art. You know, one of the screenshots I remember that was one of the coolest images was Finn like fighting a really bloody war on Coruscant because now I remember the script. Kind of they had to go over to Coruscant and they basically incited rebellion inside Coruscant. So it was a very, very big battle and things like that. It had a lot of more, you know, militaristic tactics, like going back to the Clone Wars, but in the sequels and to the original trilogy, like logistics and things like that being involved because they had to start an uprising in Coruscant. So that was pretty cool. And they had a part in which like Rey almost turns to the dark side and things like that, but then she like reaffirms her light side affinity, and Kylo Ren is just like the baddest guy there is. He's like too far gone. Rey tries to to redeem him, but he doesn't, and so she has to kill him, something like that. It was really cool,
Damn.
actually.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody know how long we've been recording? Or is there a
No,
way
I
to
cannot
check
check
that?
unfortunately. Once it's gone.
Well, Lilith came in like at 5:05, so
5 minutes
we got
late.
like 45 plus minutes. I think we've been recording.
I
Okay.
think 48 to be
we-
exact.
We should finish
Yeah.
it out in 1 hour.
Something like
Or, like I
that.
mean, like
Yeah.
at exactly 1 hour or around it. So what's our last
Alright.
topic? We talk about games, movies. I didn't have a last topic, so I call it random.
Anime, I guess.
Okay.
You control that mammoth stuff.
Jose. Jose, do you have any topics that you would like to discuss?
I don't think so, man.
Charles,
I think I'm.
how about the mammoths? Mammoths.
Oh, the
Restricting them.
mammoths. Okay. I thought that was for episode 2. Okay. So have you guys heard about how scientists are trying to resurrect the woolly mammoth?
No.
No, I haven't heard about that, man. But I think that sounds like, paving the way for Jurassic Park.
Exactly. So a lot of people, it's a very controversial topic. Like a lot of people are saying it's immoral and we shouldn't do it. I think that we should try because it would really, spec into different fields of science research that we could learn from. It would be kind of like a starting point for DNA research, and I think we could get a lot of good things out of that as a civilization. But basically, they're going to kind of impregnate an African elephant, one of the big ones, with the embryo of one that they create somehow. I don't know. It's pretty amazing. There's a documentary about it. But so basically, it wouldn't even really be a woolly mammoth. It would be more of a hybrid than anything. So I don't think it's immoral. I think that it's kind of just a good thing that scientists should try. Might lead to better things, better research, possible disease cures, that type of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, imagine if we could resurrect like a race, like you're saying, the science implications surrounding that are just astounding, man.
Yeah, it's wild. Like
it's super wild. Like and what you just said, like it could be applied into medicine research. It could be applied to a whole plethora of other scientific fields. Like it's just very big, actually. I think it should be like a bigger news story. I don't know why I hadn't seen anything about that.
It's been around for years, man. They've been talking about it since like 2017, and they said that it was going to be done by 2018. Like they were going to have like an actual specimen, but they have failed to deliver. I haven't read up on it recently, but I'm thinking maybe they failed. Maybe the deadline is getting pushed back. I don't know. Maybe they did create it. They were too scared to inform the public.
Maybe create a
that type of
hybrid and
thing.
ate them up. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have killed them all. I don't know. They might have created a monster. But yeah, I definitely feel like that should be getting more attention than it
Woolly
is.
mammoths.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty interesting. I mean, they were just kind of bigger, hairier elephants. Very good at surviving in cold climates. Heard that they might actually be able to help with climate change if they like fertilize the ground, if they were to actually put them back where they used to live. That was another plus side to that, because they were planning on introducing them back into the wild. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting topic overall, I would say.
Yeah.
So did anybody else want to bring up anything, or are we good
Jeremy,
to wrap
Brian,
up?
any other thing you want to leave out before we end it?
Oh no.
We could talk about we
We
haven't
can use,
talked about
we can
anime
use.
yet.
Well, I
It
mean,
could be
yeah,
one.
we can use,
Right.
make it short. thing about anime.
Or we could talk about how
Must watch
CP
animes.
has grown in popularity.
I know Brian wanted to
But-
talk about the new Corvette, if I wasn't mistaken.
The new what?
The new Corvette.
New Corvette C8.
Okay.
Mm,
Brian is a car
I'll
guy.
save
okay,
that for
sure.
maybe next episode.
Yeah, we could do that.
Anything you want to know? Anime, any reference, something, Evangelion, whatever, Naruto, I don't know. You guys don't watch.
Um,
No, really. I
just
think that's
that
it.
everybody should watch Neon Genesis Evangelion and Clannad. That's just everything that I have to say.
I mean, I showed them
Okay.
clips. I showed them clips and
might
stuff,
start watching that.
but I think they got it. They got the idea of what it is.
if you guys like anime, you really should watch
Pressing.
Clannad.
Yeah, I've never really been too
I mean-
huge into anime, but I might check it out just because Steve is always talking about it, like, constantly.
Watch Evangelion. Follow my page. Like
But-
my content. I keep saying that.
Yeah.
I really think Naruto is a great anime in terms of plot,
I mean, there's
but
a lot
like
of
there's
there's
a lot of
action stuff,
Oh.
you know.
yeah,
I
it's like a
Steve
great
showed me,
action
like,
anime.
Like these
Naruto
two
and
guys
Sasuke.
killing each
The
other.
final fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the final battle is crazy, bro. And I like how they tied in like everything with Hagoromo, the Sage of Six Paths, and his two sons, and then there's reincarnates, which are Naruto and Sasuke. That was really
But
cool.
then
to
they
me.
made Naruto's son, or I call it Boruto's. They used to ruin everything.
they ruined it with Boruto. I don't really like Boruto.
Yeah, I think we got everything covered. Anyone
Yeah, I
want to
would
leave
say-
like an
I would
ending
say,
phrase or
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, Jose, would you like to shout out your page, possibly?
Well, guys, if you're listening to this, check out my Instagram page, Full Evan Genesis, and check out my Twitch, Molotov CTail 5. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Should I say the thing? or no?
Whatever.
Do we continue?
Oh, what? Okay. Oh no.
Yeah.